The worker was able to focus on not just, the independent living skills of cleaning and, shopping and that sort of thing, but also their dreams and their vision.
Yeah, that's so
and their passion. Hi, and welcome to our Leaving Care podcast. This is Leigh and Brendan. Thanks for joining us today.
So tonight we're going to celebrate the highlights of season 1. We had about 10 episodes, and we started with a heart to really want to get behind young people and share the importance of them having a lived experience, leaving the care system and being able to share back with young people so that are still in care. That was the heart behind this podcast, and it has grown from that to include also sector leaders, which has been really good, hasn't it? In tonight we're doing the highlight reel. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee and enjoy. So we wanted to start conversations with young people about how sharing their own lived experience of leaving the care system could really support young people that are still in the care system. And we learned through it, didn't we, Brendan, about the importance of calling it transitioning from care rather than leaving care, because, and that was some feedback from Heidi, but also some young people that we spoke to that are care leavers themselves. They shared some really gold moments, which you're going to share later in our episode, aren't you, Brendan?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So, what we found is that, Brendan and I are on the right path. We've just got nothing but awesome feedback, really lovely feedback from care leavers, but also on TikTok, on some of our social platforms. I remember seeing a comment, important issue, keep speaking out for these kids. And it spurs us both on, doesn't it? To just really speak up and just keep speaking up.
Yeah.
So Brendan in the first episode shared about his lived experience, and I did as well, about how it impacted us when we got to meet somebody that had a similar experience to us growing up, and how we didn't feel alone. It actually gave us hope. And Brendan, I think, shared about hope and gave him an ability to actually speak up and have a voice and realize he's not alone. So that was fantastic. Dylan, in a later episode, who shared powerfully how the system has really changed. There's been so much changing in the system over the last few years, and that it's been positive, but there's still a ways to go, even with the Make It 21 campaign, which has been amazing. He said that there's room for improvement because young people still are seeing that 18, come up and as a doomsday rather than a celebration, a time to go, yay, I'm 18, there's so much independence I get. He said it's still seen widely across the system by young people as, oh my gosh, I'm leaving care, oh my gosh, I'm turning 18, I'm moving out, I've got no, just the dread and the fear and the anxiety that brings up. So we want to change that, and we're so glad we've got young people on the journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Share their experience.
Greatly. And I remember interviewing an interview with Erin, which was one of our care leavers, and she was sharing how it was when she left care at 18, all the supports just finished. Her mental health worker, alcohol, other drug worker, and caseworker just finished, and she had no one. She felt really displaced, really alone, and her voice was around, she really wanted that connection to community and other supports after 18, because really the reality is, most people who turn 18, the majority of the population, they've got their family support around them. And so, but these young people don't. So we need to change that to make sure there are supports after they finish 18. And our next guest, Heidi, who is the CEO of Anchor, and she shared, really amazing story from the Brighter Futures program, and how, this, young person that was part of the program was able to, the worker was able to focus on not just, the independent living skills of cleaning and, shopping and that sort of thing, but also their dreams and their vision.
Yeah, that's so
and their passion.
Yeah.
And, when they were able to connect with community, and one of her dreams actually got realised, she was just blown away. And, it would just made such an impact on her confidence and her self-esteem. It was really inspiring.
That was amazing. That was the songwriter, and she got to go to the studio. Wow, I remember that.
Yeah.
Powerful.
So that was great.
And sometimes that's forgotten, isn't it, when preparing young people, like the dreams are so important.
Yeah, not just, what they need, what they sort of need for living care, but, we've all, everybody's got dreams and visions, and that should really be a focus as well for these young kids. And then we also did our lovely foster carers, Jake and Laura, and they shared openly about their experience and how they really include foster kids into their family, and was really touching and very moving. With their experience of many young people who came into their home, and one in particular, a comment that Laura made about people coming up to them and saying, "Oh, gee, they're so lucky to be with you," and she really came back and said, "Look, actually they're actually not lucky, because they've actually lost so much in being in foster care. Like, they've lost their family, they've lost their school, friends, they've lost a lot of their education, their connection to like sport, and this is not just once, it might have happened like 2 or 3 or 4 times. So she really gave that reality check, that it wasn't, they're not lucky, they were actually the ones who are fortunate for them to come into their home and be part of their family, which was really touching to hear. But no, their heart is to really include them in their family. So really enjoyed our conversation and interview with them.
I remember that. I remember the powerful the powerful time that they were sharing on the veranda while the kids were inside. That was funny. And that was really good to hear what Laura said. Is like, actually they're not lucky. No. They've lost so much. And so we will always be second best. Like, we won't be. So incredible. Thanks for that, Brendan. In closing tonight, we just want to do a big shout out to all of our guests, because we don't know everything. We're only one piece of a very big sector, and the more we can bring in the lived experience of young people with being able to share their story, we grow, we learn as we're designing the program together. As Dylan kindly said, it's so important to bring young people in from the start all the way through, and keep accountable to, hey, are we giving the voice? Are we sharing the voice? And so I think I learned a lot from that too. Absolutely. I just put in there. So thank you so much, Erin, Dylan, for sharing your lived experience so vulnerably with us and on air to TikTok, YouTube, absolutely. All of our social platforms. And Jake and Laura, awesome, being able to share from your heart the impacts. And also Heidi, thank you so much for what you've shared. And until next week, which is really this week, this Sunday, we have Jan Owens speaking in season 2, episode 1, about what's changed in the system, because Jan's been around for a long period of time in when Create was founded, and we will tell you all about her this coming Sunday, and we look forward to the next season 2. So bye for now from us. Have a great night.